This is either part 5 or 6. Hopefully the final part. We're going to strip this body down. We're going to use our screwdriver once again. Take all the accessories off, and then we're going to strip a bit of its paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off the roll bar, which are 2 screws here. Looks like they're not matching screws, so I'm not sure what's going on there. There's 1, a little washer, and 2. And actually, oh, I think I have another one of these matching screws. Yeah, I've got an extra one of those. So we'll pull this out. Ideally, looks like they may have glued it on in addition to screwing it in there. The little booger's not wanting to come out. There we go. And you can see this has been painted white or an off-white. We're going to strip that and repaint that as well. I'm going to take the lights themselves apart, maybe. And we've got new decals, so reproduction, so that's fine. You can take this front bracket off. That's a really small screw. There's a bracket. We're going to be using the citrus strip on this. It's pretty safe, so we should be okay. We can pull out our interior. Looks like somebody tried to paint the 5-speed gearbox on there. Again, this driver looks really good. I'm going to leave him alone. I'm probably going to strip the interior though, but I do, like I said, somebody jammed a screw right near his crotch. Actually, must have been angry at him. I need to get that screw out. So there is the body ready to be stripped. All the accessories are off, and unfortunately, this looks like it's paint. Oh boy. Yeah, somebody painted this. I don't know if citrus strip will affect the plastic, but I definitely want to get that off of there. It shouldn't affect the plastic. I'm going to put it on the body, but this is clear, so I don't know if that will affect that or not. I'm going to get this screw out of this guy's leg. I do want to paint the interior a different color. I'll probably just end up putting the screw right back in there. I have a feeling they put that in there because he kept on falling out, or and this kit is nearly as old as me, so we might do some touch-ups. I mean, they did a pretty good job of painting this guy. And it does look like they tried to glue him. Fingerprint there. Maybe we can pull that fingerprint and find out if this person did any crimes. But I think I'm going to leave him alone for the most part. They did a really good job on parts of him. Maybe I'll just touch up some areas, like under here. But here is everything in its entirety ready to go. And the next thing we need to do is start throwing some citrus strip on this and see how it pans out. I'm going to think about this for a while. It's in great shape. There is a tiny little scratch right there. It's not all the way through, so it's not a crack, but if I can get this off, that would be ideal. Otherwise, maybe I'll just leave it alone. Kind of a shame, actually, because the body looks pretty good. Even the paint, but I just want it box art. Wish I was not so picky. Just leave it and be done with it, but I remember it as blue when I was a child, so it's going to be blue. Just test an area there. So far, no reaction. Yeah, we'll let it sit for 15 or 20 minutes and then continue on. We are making some progress. This is after 2 applications, and I'm just using a toothbrush and just breaking it down. It's fairly thick in some areas, but it is coming off. Just a lot of work. Okay, this is where we're at so far. You can see we've actually got quite a bit of it done. The decals are still on there. They're hanging on. The citrus strip actually did okay. This is after 2 coats and just going around with the toothbrush. I did read on their site that it wasn't safe for plastic, but there's no warping, there's no softening of the plastic, nothing. So it appears to be fine for this kit. This was quite a bit of work. I'm going to continue to do it this way if I have to, but one thing I want to try is actually throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I know that sounds crazy, but the heat and the liquid, we did that with the Porsche 934, and although it did not strip it, it did start just falling off. Now if I put this in there again, we would probably get even more of it off. But so I'm going to give that a shot, just because I can, I guess, and see how that works. Maybe that'll make the process go a little quicker. And then also I've tested a small section right here that's not going to be noticeable if it has any adverse effects on the windshield, right here. So we'll see. We'll let that do its thing for a bit. I may need to put more on there, and hopefully we can get that off. If not, we're just going to leave it black, I guess. That's just the best course of action there. It looks like they tried to tint it, but it's just completely black, and it's fine if I can't get it off, but I would prefer to get this taken care of. Right, here's where we're at with the Big Bear body. I'm not done with it yet. This is after 2 full, we'll call it drenchings of the citrus strip. I did try alcohol, because that was a recommended thing. Didn't work. Again, these plastic bodies are kind of new to me. When I first started the Hot Wheels thing, it was 1 for my grandson, 2 it was learn how to paint a little better for when I build static models when I get old and retire. I've got a lot of static models, and that's kind of one of the things I maybe want to do. So I'm up for all kinds of ideas, but this seems to be working the best. I tried the ultrasonic cleaner with the cleaning solution and the heat, and it really didn't do anything. So I still have to do the inside. I still have to do a little bit on the front, and then obviously I have to get these decals off. I did also do a little test section, which it is a little foggy, as you can see right here, but I'm going to take my Dremel and some plastic polish and see if I can get that as clear as the rest. If I can, I'll submerge the whole thing. I thought for sure the ultrasonic with the heat would definitely take those decals off, but it clearly did not. They're on there for good. So we're just going to take some heat and see what that does. So we'll have to put more of our stripper on, because yeah, that'll work out nicely. So I'm going to get these off all the way. I'm going to hit this a few more times. You know, there's still some red, but if I can get as much of it off as I can I'll clean it really, really well, and then I'll prime it, and it won't be a problem. So this is turning out better than expected overall. All right, here is how we ended up. Pretty good overall. There's still a little bit of red. I could not get it off. I wasn't worried about this section, mostly this section. I am going to prime this, and then we're going to paint it. So it's been cleaned with the alcohol. It's dried. Should be ready to go. So we're going to prime it, paint it, and then we'll put some decals on it, and we should be done. All right, I took some Windex to clean off the guy, and he kind of, parts of him fell apart, which is fine. We're going to glue him back together. But the first thing I want to do is maybe do a little touch up here and there. It's not going to match perfectly. I don't know what paint they used, but we've got a little spot on his leg. It'll be close enough. He's going to be in the interior. And speaking of the interior, well, a couple things. First thing is the window, or windshield, or I tried the other side as well. I'm going to leave it black. I'm not going to just mess with this. These portions are hidden by the actual body, so none of that will be seen. So I'm just going to leave well enough alone. And what prompted me to leave well enough alone is I don't have it in here right now. It's actually in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I had the grandkids over this weekend. And on Friday, they were here Saturday. Today is Sunday. So on Friday, I had put some of the citrus strip on the interior, and as well as the roll bar, and forgot about it. Well, that plastic is a little different. It's fine if you start wiping it off within a few hours, but if you leave it on for a couple of days, not good. It kind of melted into the plastic. It still might be salvageable, which ruined basically the steering wheel. The interior is still there, but it's really rough. I'm trying to see if I can get it off, and the roll bar. So I have found a steering wheel that I could 3D print, no problem there. Roll bar I can actually 3D print. It is actually printing right now, which is fine. But the interior itself, I cannot find that. So I did find somebody on eBay like 5 minutes ago that has one for $40, or best offer. I submitted an offer of $20. It's actually new old stock, which is awesome. It's not been painted. I really should have just either left it alone, or just painted over the paint, cleaned it up and painted it over it. But I wanted to strip it to new, and it bit me in the butt. There we have it. So hopefully, still within this video, we'll come back and we'll have a painted body. I did start shooting some primer on the inside. Haven't done the outside yet. I'm still debating on whether to use the Tamiya primer, which I did on the inside, or just some regular automotive primer. Okay, we are back. We've got it all primed up. We actually have it sanded. You'll notice there are some bare spots. I did a little bit of light sanding just to get any of the imperfections out. Obviously, we ended up using the automotive primer. I had started with the Tamiya primer and just didn't really have the coverage I was looking for, and I also wanted to possibly hide a few imperfections in the body. I know some folks have cut this portion off, like the little sprue. I'm going to leave that on. I don't really see a reason to cut it off. I mean, it is kind of unsightly, but this is how it came, and we're going to leave it that way. Also, we did get a package from eBay today, and let's open it up. And this is a interior, although this is not in the original package like it was my old one. I didn't want to show it to you, but let's go ahead and do that. It is ruined. It's trashed. So I am going to keep it as a reminder of what not to do. Finally, time to finish this big bear. We've got it all nice and painted. We got the decals on. Took a little longer than I wanted, just because I was busy in between. I really want to get started on that samurai, but here it is. We painted the headlights, the turn signals, of course the bumper, and we got the end caps painted a different color, and we got the rear bumper, the Datsun painted. It turned out pretty nice actually, minus my fingerprints. So now we need to put on or install the windshield or the glass. As mentioned, I think I mentioned it earlier, I did some test pieces here on how it would look if I stripped it, and it was going to be foggy even after polishing it. So I'm just going to leave the tint on there, which is fine. We painted the guy, which I believe we showed that, or we touched him up. Turned out pretty nice. He was ready to go. The interior from eBay, I think I had a video, or I was going to, maybe it's in this video, I don't know how these are all going to come together, but I thought this was used, but it was actually clipped off of a tree. This was just the stickers from the tree, but I did paint it. I used the same color brown that I used for my, which I never had a build on, but on my Bruiser. And then we've got our 3D printed roll bar. And then we've got all of our other accessories in here. We've got our 3D printed steering wheel, which we're going to show you the original ones in a moment. I don't believe I have. I painted and put the new decals on the fog lights or the lights, and then here are the rest of the accessories. So we will show you the old pieces and what the stripper did to them. It would have been fine had I left them on for a few minutes or maybe even an hour, but when you leave it on for days, it tends to eat away the plastic. So this is the original interior, completely ruined. This will not come off. It actually had melted into the plastic, so that's trash. As well as the roll bar, same thing. This goo is actually pieces of the plastic. The more you wiped, the more it actually just took layers and layers of plastic off. And then what remains of the steering wheel. So I cost myself an additional, I think it was $35 with the interior, and these two pieces were printed. I'll have to look. I did have a comment on one of the videos with the actual the wheels, and I should have mentioned this before. This is my bad, but SilverTriple, he's on Thingiverse. I actually pulled the files from Bamboo Lab site, but he's the one that created, I don't know, I don't recall if he created this one. If he did not, or if he did, I'll put the creator in the chat or in the comments if I find it, as well as this one. This was not for a Samurai or for a Big Bear, but it was for another vehicle, which was a little bit bigger. I had to size it down. So essentially I measured the old steering wheel, what remained of it, and sized this one down to fit that. So again, SilverTriple, he created those files for those wheels, and he actually commented, and I totally agree with him. That's a miss on my part. I apologize for that. And I think I have some files for the Samurai that I'm also going to have to thank him for when those videos come about. So now we just need to assemble all this. We're going to find out exactly where he needs to sit, which should be right around there. We're going to put our steering wheel on, and I'm going to hot glue, I think I'm going to hot glue the driver. I'm not going to drive another screw through his leg into the interior, which is what somebody else did. I think hot glue will hold him just fine. Use our hot glue gun. We've got some red hot glue. We're just going to, that's probably a little much. There. It's actually a little far forward, but that should be good. So now we can put this section in. Next we will put this roll bar on, and it's a little tricky. Don't want to break this. It is made out of, I think I used PVA, I don't remember, but it's still not a real large piece. So there's that. Before we do that, we're going to put this front section on. Fog lights come in three pieces: the back, the front, and then of course the the light itself. And this spins around a little bit right here. It's got I don't know if this 3D printed one is not the same size, but I don't think that's the issue, because I remember they were spinning around on the original bar as well. So I'm just adding some glue, and we'll put the screw back in and do it the same way that we did the other one. That's the wrong screw. Put the screw in, then I can put the front and back on, and I can screw the front, the actual light itself on. Just makes assembly a little bit easier. Okay, the final piece of the puzzle here is to put the body on, and we'll try to wipe our fingerprints off of the body and give you some final shots, and maybe we'll take her for another spin. It's looking pretty good. I like it. We'll wipe off the fingerprints. And we will take it for a little romp, but there it is. All right, we're ready to take the Big Bear out for another little romp. We've already given it a little spin with the red body, but I just want to see what it looks like. A little cold out today. Luckily there's no snow, so we'll take it for a quick little jaunt in the grass and watch it bounce around. I knew it was going to be bouncy. The ground is pretty frozen. Don't want to mess up that nice body, so we're gonna go to the sidewalk. It's actually got some power. Not earth-shattering, but it's got some power. Do a little wheelie. This will be a lot of fun to take to the baseball diamond for sure. And maybe we'll get some footage of that this summer. But I think that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed this build as much as I did. Probably not, but it was a lot of fun. If you have any questions or comments, post those below. And as always, thanks for watching.